Hello, in this video I'm going to go over some basic e-learning day information and updates for teachers and other staff members in BCSC. So, goal of this is to understand what an e-learning day is and better get an understanding of what expectations and lesson materials you'll need to have prepared for an e-learning day. So what is an e-learning day? It is a virtual or online day of learning. Instead of going to school, students hold classes online and teachers put all class materials and lessons online. We use this to make up school days, and we also use this to avoid days being added on at the end of the school year. Staff and students will use eLearning and their BCSC issued devices to participate. So who participates in an e-learning day? Students in grades 1 through 12 are one-to-one, meaning every student has a device. Kindergarten students participate in e-learning days as well, but they're not one-to-one. They're about 1 to 3 with iPads, so they receive some paper materials as well because not all students have a device they can take home with them. And all certified teachers will post their lesson materials on eLearning for an e-learning day. So when will we have one of these e-learning days? We will have an e-learning day if there's a cancellation that is our 6th cancellation, or any cancellation that happens after spring break. So this means if we have 6 snow days before March 16th, then we'll have an e-learning day. It also means that if we have any cancellations after March 20th for the 2019-2020 school year, that we'll have an e-learning day. For the 2020-2021 school year, this means that we'll have an e-learning day before March 15th if we have more than 5 cancellations, and we'll have an e-learning day if we have any cancellations past our built-in days, and after spring break on March 19th. And as a teacher, all of your planning and your lesson materials will be conducted in your own home or wherever you'd like to go for an e-learning day. You don't have to report to your assigned building. And we do this, again, so we can prevent making up days at the end of the year. It allows us to maintain that momentum and have continuous instruction. It prepares our students to learn from innovative technology and develop some future-ready technical skills that our students will use beyond their time here in BCSC. So important information for teachers. Students will complete e-learning lessons and activities from home or from community buildings. There are some buildings that we have contacted and will allow students to come in and use their Wi-Fi if they would like, and those are listed on the e-learning website. If there's going to be an e-learning day, BCSC staff will be some of the first people to know about that. We will send out an email to all staff members. If you sign up for eAlerts, which I have linked here, you will get a text message as well, and we'll have a notice posted on the BCSC website, as well as social media. In terms of food, we will have 3 locations that will be open for lunch for students from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and those locations are Central, Parkside, and Taylorsville. And if a parent would like to go with a student to go to one of those food locations, they are more than welcome to. They can buy a lunch as well. Some buildings will allow parents and for students to go and pick up devices if the student forgot to take it home. So just be sure to follow e-alerts and email and social media for those important updates. Wi-Fi might be an issue for some of your students. We completely understand that not every student has access to Wi-Fi, so try to plan ahead as best as you can, kind of work on a case-by-case scenario with some of those students, try to give them paper materials if you can in advance, or just be understanding when they can make up that work afterwards. We do have a map of free Wi-Fi locations around Columbus and this whole entire county, so if you know students maybe who don't have internet but they live near one of these locations, you can point them there and maybe even show this map to parents. It's on the e-learning website that the general public has access to. There's also free Wi-Fi at local businesses as well, and there's some affordable internet options listed here too. The big thing is just try to be understanding. In terms of expectations for teachers, the time frame here, you have to have your lesson materials posted by 9 a.m. on eLearning. Don't post them other places, post them on eLearning. That's where all of our students have an account. They all have equal access there, and that's where your lesson materials will go. You can post it before 9 a.m. if you would like, but you would post your lesson goal or objectives, instructions for your students, as well as resources that they'll need to complete those learning objectives. Your content and lessons for an e-learning day must be in continuation with what you're doing in the classroom. Don't make pre-made packets that don't fit in line with what you've regularly been teaching. And these are both state mandates and requirements, so please make sure you're following those expectations. Teachers will have office hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on eLearning Day where they can answer students' questions, provide guidance, and get back to students within a 30 to 45 minute window. You have choice in how you'd like to respond to students. The one that I would recommend using is eLearning Messenger because your students are already on the platform doing their work. But if you would like to also contact and work with your students through other means like Remind and Class Dojo, Blooms, or email, you are welcome to do that as well. You can use the 360 reporting tab on your eLearning course to see if students have logged on and looked at your resources. That gives you a very detailed view of that. Student attendance will be calculated based upon your discretion as a teacher if the student completed learning objectives. So if a student logged on and worked some, then it's up to you whether you count them as being present. And you'll get more guidance from that from your supervisors. In terms of makeup work, students have 3 days after an eLearning day to make up their work. So maybe if they don't have Wi-Fi, they can't do the learning activities that day because they don't have internet, they have 3 days afterwards to still make up that work. And the big thing to do here when you design eLearning lessons is making sure that you are implementing UDL. Give students choices. Use videos and discussion boards and surveys to make it an engaging, fun lesson for students. Use videos and slides and text to provide students choice in their learning resources, as well as provide students choice in how they show their understanding in your lessons. So give them the options of doing video responses, text typed out responses, audio recordings, maybe building models from items they have in their household. Give some choice, and there are some sample lessons on eLearning if you would like to look at them. The big thing is provide choice, be creative, and have fun. And a lot of these things you can do all within eLearning, so you don't have to rely on tons of other outside websites to do these. Try to include written as well as video instructions wherever you can. Again, this is another UDL guideline here. It helps some of our students who might need that face-to-face contact with you and support that day, as well as make sure that your objectives that you're having students meet within an eLearning lesson fit within the normal time frame you would have that student in class. So if you're a secondary teacher and you see students for 45 or 50 minutes, make sure that that's how long your lesson would take them on eLearning day. And avoid assigning additional homework or additional work outside of your eLearning lesson on an eLearning day because students are going to be spending quite a bit of time in front of their screen. Make sure you're flexible. There's a little bit of gray area here with whether students can get on or not, so be understanding for those students. Kindergarten teachers, plan some paper activities because students are not one-to-one, so we can't expect every single one of them to get on and do eLearning activities. Kind of do a blend if you can. Other modifications, such as those specified in IEPs and 504s, must be followed on eLearning days. So make sure that you're working with a student's teacher of record, their parents, and other special education teachers to make sure you're following that guidance. Before an eLearning day, familiarize yourself with the eLearning platform, as well as get students familiar with it too. It's really great to maybe have a practice eLearning lesson. Doesn't have to be a full entire lesson, doesn't have to be a full eLearning day. Maybe it's having your students log on to eLearning, open a folder, and then send you a message so they're getting some familiarity with navigating the platform as they would on an eLearning day and contacting you as they would on an eLearning day. Before you have an eLearning day, it's also helpful to bring parents into the loop on things. You can send them resources I have linked here, which is a login sheet. It's kind of a helpful hint sheet for parents. They can help make sure that their learner is logged on to the resources that they might need. And I would make sure that you try to learn students' needs and plan. So identify which students maybe need additional time because they might not have Wi-Fi, or help them connect with places where they can get that Wi-Fi. Develop a communication game plan. If you want students to only message you through eLearning, make sure you're very clear in that. Or if you use other means of contacting students, that you communicate those as well. You want some sample lessons. They are located on BCSC Connect in an eLearning folder. Again, make sure that you provide choice, show your face, include video instructions wherever you can and as often as you can, and include information to students on how to best contact you. And again, there's more resources and comments here that'll help you along the way. And if you have questions, let me know. My email is shown here at the bottom. And we will have some professional development opportunities for you to expand your knowledge of eLearning days.